You're watching Viewpoint. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali. Joining me on the program is Abdul Razak Bhuya, who's an advocate from Guwahati. What we will discuss today is an important issue that is dominating discourse, at least in the state of Assam. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma-led Assam government is all set to introduce a significant bill in the upcoming state assembly session starting 22nd August, which will make compulsory government registrations of marriages and divorces among Muslim community in the state. The opposition has stated that they will only support the amendment of the child marriage provision, but the government meddling with marriage and divorce provisions will not be tolerated and will be fervently opposed. So, clear stand taken by the government and the opposition in this matter. The bill is set to be introduced on the 22nd of August. What we are getting to know, of course, is that the chief minister has made a very passionate support of this bill, saying we support the amendment of the bill, but if they want to repeal the bill, this is what the opposition says, that if they want to repeal the bill, we will protest and fight against this. We want to rectify the provision of child marriage in the bill. Himanta Biswa Sharma wants to repeal this act, according to the opposition, because he wants to play the card of communalism. So that is the position taken by AIUDF in the state. The Congress also says that meddling with the affairs of personal law and religious personal matter is not acceptable. Basic aim is to identify cases of child marriage, and the one way of doing it is to ensure that they don't go via the Qazi. They have to come to a government. The sub-registrar of the Assam government will be the authority in charge. Is this going to make the Qazis in a way irrelevant, redundant? And is that going to be a problem with the Muslim community? The clerics are becoming redundant with this new law, as it appears.
Actually, ma'am, the whole concept of repealing this act is misconceived by the state of Assam. Why I am telling you? Because, as you know, in the concurrent list of the Constitution of India, the subject of marriage and registration has been incorporated as two different subjects. Now, marriage is solemnizing, and without solemnizing the marriages, you cannot register it. That is the purport of the Act of 1935. The Muslim marriage registers are being appointed only to register the marriages and divorces. Now they have no role to play with the solemnizing the marriage. They are only required to register the marriage on an oral applications being made by the bride or groom, or there is a provision under section 8 is there that if the bride and groom are minor, then their lawful guardian can approach the Muslim marriage registrar for registration of the marriages only. Now you see, ma'am, there is a distinction. There is a distinction between the solemnization of the marriage and registration of the marriages. Otherwise, we are helping the government to keeping the record that how many child marriages has been already solemnized of the Muslim community in the state of Assam.
I have spoken to a lot of young girls from the rural areas. There are people, there are house helps who work at my parents' place as well. And when you talk to them, you want to understand from these young girls that obviously many of them have got married before the legal age, right? It's very rampant. Let's be very clear about the facts here, about what is the reality. You know, we call a spade a spade. So it is very rampant that a 14-year-old, 15-year-old Muslim girl is married. She already has 2 kids by the time she's 17, 18. This is what I have observed. When I go into this issue, when I talk to them, there are 2-3 things I have observed. So you can tell me how this can be addressed, whether the government is in a way right in cracking the whip or there is another way. When you talk to them, they'll tell you that the moment you attain puberty, it becomes the responsibility of the father to somehow get you into somebody else's house. In the sense, have you married to someone so that he does not bear the responsibility of anything untoward happening to the girl. So in a way, the father has to save himself the disgrace of any transgression happening on a girl who have attained puberty. There is a fear of unwanted pregnancy, etc. So the father wants to get rid of that responsibility. This is what I have been told by the women. Okay, they have told me this, that there is a fear of disgrace, of indignity for the father moment you attain puberty. So these are the ground realities
You
of
you
your
have you have you
communities.
have raised the absolute
Yeah.
ground reality and the very
But
correct
why?
ground
How do you
reality.
address this? But that doesn't mean you will
No,
allow
you
these
see.
women to get married early and have
Oh,
children. It's
exactly,
unhealthy for
exactly,
them.
ma'am. This issue can only be addressed because these are happening. These incidents are happening in very inside and remote areas, wherein the people are not aware about the consequences of the child marriages. And secondly, lack of education is also there. Now, when and in what manner a girl is fully fit to give birth, child biological fitness is required. These things they don't know. They only know that once the puberty is there, so there is a chances of any kind of social any kind of an incident happen to my daughter that which may
But that is unfair on
uh,
the women, isn't it? So those
exactly
fathers
and
will have to be told that just to save your skin, you cannot
exactly
throw your girls to the wolves. You don't do
exactly
that in a civilized society.
exactly. This is a very serious issue, and it needs a detailed policy. It needs a very highly thinkable policy decision of the government that in what
There is
manner
also the poverty issue, isn't it? There's one
poverty
mouth
issue is
less to feed. One mouth less
exactly
to feed, you get rid of the girl, and so that all of these factors are not discussed. It is simply
exactly
being made out as if the religion allows girls to get married when you attain puberty. Therefore, this is happening. But the reality
exactly
is something else, which is not being addressed. And I would like to, of
not
course, use this opportunity since we have a lot of audience watching us live now on YouTube and Twitter,
exactly
that improving levels of education, uplifting them from abject poverty. That is a difficult route. Cracking the whip this way, because for every single thing you want the community to go to the thana, go to the police, go to the registrar. That cannot happen. Even for alimony, the government wants to do that. Now the woman has to go to the court directly. So practically there are problems. But what
practical
you are
problem is there.
explaining to us
Now,
is that legality
I want
also
to
is
apprise you. Ma'am,
relevant.
I am
Yeah.
sorry interrupting you. I want to apprise you one thing. Under the Child Marriage Prohibition Act of 2006, there is a provision for appointment of the child marriage protection officers. Do you know that in the state of Assam, it has only in the year 2023 they have appointed the child marriage protection officers. Now you
Hmm.
see the role of the government. They were also in a deep slumber. They don't want to act upon the 2006 act. Only in the year 2023 of the last part of 2023 the government become has played an active role for curbing the child marriages by arresting these people. And what
About
they have done, they
4,000
have
people have been arrested. 4,000.
arrested.
And what happens to those
Because
destitute women?
exactly there is no policy of those destitute women at this moment.